Alright folks, welcome to another beer review, and today we're looking at a variation on one of the finest core range pale ales that you will find, which is obviously Sonoma from Track. Matching glassware, had to give it a rinse because I've not used this glass for a while. And they fairly recently released a couple or a few variations on the beer, and I think you'll be hard pressed to find a consistently better craft pale ale than this. And if you get to try it on cask, it's a real treat. Just a phenomenal beer, no matter which sort of format you have it in, whether it be in a can. Mini keg was sensational. Bought a couple over the last few years. Just works a treat. Fresh on keg, on cask, whatever. It's just a great beer for me. And yeah, so I picked up a couple of the variations. Was going to do like a comparison thing, but I didn't pick up a normal can of it, so I thought that's going to be a little bit redundant if you're not going to be comparing it to the original. But yeah, so this is 3.6%, and this is brewed with 2025 Thriving in 25 Cryo fresh hops. Not too sure if there's a blurb on there. Here we go. Yakima Chief hops, Cryo fresh hop pellets, derive from the concentrated lupulin of fresh whole core hops, preserving the vibrant flavours and aromas of freshly harvested hops. This version of Sonoma is brewed with our 2025 hand-selected Citra, Mosaic and Centennial, then dry hopped with Mosaic and Cryo Fresh. And obviously for each can, I can't remember who's involved in the actual artwork. It might make reference to it on the can itself, but they've done sort of like different variants of that familiar branding for the beer itself. Track Brewing, designed by A.H. Creative. Now I'm not sure if they've worked with someone else for the actual individual designs. I'm not too sure. As always in the videos, if you can go look it up. I can't remember if I include IMDb. I can't remember if I include Untappd links in the descriptions nowadays. But if you want more information about it, you'll be able to find it. But yeah, so really happy to be trying this. So let's see what we get. I do like this glass as well. It's got a lot of heft to it. I certainly wouldn't like this glass smashed over my head. I wouldn't like any glass really smashed over my head, to be fair. There we go. We'll fill it, and as you can see, there's fucking hell, there's a lot of bubbles on that. Let's bring those off. It kind of worked. And yeah, obviously one of my favourite just all-time beers of all time is Sierra Nevada's Pale Ale, and I would put Sonoma up there in that category, in that bracket, in that it's in good company, let's put it that way. And I'll have to at one point collect or select like my favourite core range brewed all year round pale ales from craft breweries, and just sort of like do a comparison. I'm sure plenty of people have already done that, but hey ho, it is what it is. So beer in the glass then, it's got a nice amount of like haze to it, nice ambery golden colour, just a lining of a white sort of a dish soap head. I say that because I've just done some dishes, as you can see. Just boiled some eggs to make some egg butties for me lunch tomorrow. Does anybody know how to do like boil eggs, and when you make like egg butties, barm, sarnies, whatever, to make them not fucking reek of eggs? Is that possible? Because it proper stinks out my bag, the communal fridge in work, and sometimes there's just no smell at all. I'm sure there's a fairly feasible explanation for that. But anyway, we're not here to talk about science, we're here to talk about Sonoma. And I'm telling you what, it's actually a really quite aromatic variant. Now, from what I remember and appreciate about like the regular Sonoma, is just how like simple and well executed it is. Just a beer that you can just sit and enjoy. It's always well priced, especially if you're buying it from within the Northwest, and it's just your good everyday pale ale, but it's got character and flavour to it. And I really do appreciate simplicity when it comes to a lot of things, but especially brewing, although I do like every now and then to have something utterly ridiculous. But yeah, looking good thus far. Don't use that word again, you posh twat, even though you're not posh at all. Oh man, that smells absolutely lovely. It's got the familiar Sonoma aroma. And that's just because of it's a beer that I've drank a hell of a lot of and always enjoyed it. It's one of those beers where if you're doing like an order directly with Track and you want to bulk up your order a little bit, throw in a cheeky 4-pack of Sonoma, jobs are good. And Half Dome is another very good pale ale from Track. I wish they would do a rebrew of Journey to the Sun, because that is probably my favourite Track beer of all time, and mainly because when I had it, it was when PA Brew News, or PA part now, happily married, part of PA Outdoor Couple, not said that channel name correctly, thriving on that channel, and within that community, came to Manchester, and that's when all the boys came up. I was coming off not to get too deep, probably the lowest that I've been, and just meeting up with people I love and adore, who I'd spent a lot of time with prior to that, but then also meeting Paul from PA Brew News, and then just going around Manchester, hitting up Cloudwater when they were still in the Arches, Track when they were still in the Arches, just drinking great beer. And I think we had it then. I might have had it prior to that, but it was just, there's some attachment to it, and Paul knows that I love to overly romanticize something that probably doesn't. Well, it does, because it was a special memory for me, and I'll be meeting up with a couple of someone who was there, someone who I've been to Liverpool a lot with, and meeting up with someone very high up and respected within the UK beer tube scene. By the time I've uploaded this, will have already posted about it on Instagram or whatever. But anyway, beer looks good. Shut up, give it a smell, and tell people what you think. It's 11 o'clock at night, I've just realised. It's juicy, a little bit sweet. Bags full of sweet citrus aromas. A little bit of blood orange nectarine, that sort of thing. There's definitely a nice, almost caramelly sweetness as well. Just really juicy and vibrant, but there's a good level of maltiness there. And it just smells like this. I want this to be pint 1 of like 5. That's what I'm getting. And I know it's sort of unfair to really compare it to normal Sonoma when I don't have a can to hand, but already it smells like that. Of course it's going to, because of the it's just a different format of hops that they've used. But it smells fantastic, it always does. Let's give it a taste. Cheers, everyone. It is very familiar, but there's clearly something a little bit different to it. Obviously, due to its nature, it's a really mild, flavoured, easy drinking pale. How they've managed to get this much flavour into a, not saying it's impossible, a lot of brewers can do it, but to get that much flavour in such a low ABV beer, which even now I would say still sometimes has a reputation for being like pissy thin hop water, which would be a very good name for an Instagram account. It still bags full of flavour. Got a beautiful body as well for a 3.5, 3.6 ABV. 3.8. He was wrong twice. I'm wrong a lot of times, especially when it comes to beer, funny enough. But yeah, there's almost like a rounded smoothness to it. And that's why the beer itself lends perfectly to being served on cask, where that smoothness is amplified somewhat. But this, it seems to have maybe a little bit more potency. I think with the Cryo side of things, you've probably got a little bit more of a concentrated hop flavour. And those flavours that you're used to are just accentuated. I don't know how to say that word. Somewhat. But then there's almost, for me, in this version, it's a little bit more sort of like almost classic West Coast-ish flavours coming through. Lovely, subtle aftertaste. There's bitterness that cuts through all of the beer, but it's really nice and gentle on that back end. Tapers off nicely, but it still lingers. Can something taper off yet linger? I don't know. Yeah. I tell you what, the Centennial is really popping out. And it's giving like a classic, like early to mid 2000s, like well brewed American pale ale vibe. And there is, I'm saying words like gentle, rounded, but it's got a little bit more potency than from what I recall, of the regular brewed all year round Sonoma. And it's sort of like taken that mild-mannered, gentle pale ale and just giving it a bit more of an edge. I'd say that's the perfect way to describe it. It's Sonoma with just a little bit more of an edge, tiny bit more of a kick. You feel like you're drinking something that's maybe a little bit heavier than 3.8% ABV. I've had IPAs that are nowhere near as hoppy as this. But yeah, it's just a fantastic beer. And chances are you've already had this beer a lot. You might be a big fan of it. You might not really like it because it's not your cup of tea. And if that's the case, then why would you be buying different variants of a beer that you're not the biggest sort of like lover of? Obviously, Track do much more exciting, experimental, like bordering on 5 on Untappd beers. When the hype train comes into town, 9 times out of 10, people are waiting to jump on that hype train that's going on a one-way ticket to Tracksville in Piccadilly in Manchester. Yeah, this is terrific. It really, really is. Highly, highly recommended if you've not tried it already. And again, I think it's pretty much around the same price as the regular Sonoma. An affordable, high quality pale ale that just hits every time I drink it. And even with this version, it's still hitting those high notes for me. It's just really good. It's really, really, really bloody good. And I'm going to enjoy the rest of this. It's just a beer you can just drink way too quickly. There's always a part of me when I try beers like this that are different variants of a pre-existing beer that you're a big fan of, where you're worried you're either going to be disappointed because it's going to go into a direction that completely misses the point of the original, or you're going to be disappointed because your palate doesn't really detect too much of a distinct difference. This one clearly is. And you'll never get a full recollection and spot on taste of a beer that you haven't had for a while when you revisit it, but it's so familiar. It's an iconic beer, and I can tell you what, this variant at least has just added something, and I'd like to think that they'll keep doing this, sort of like the way Cloudwater used to, with the lager, the pale ale and the IPA. It'd be the core thing, but they'd swap things out. They'd always continuous improvement. But yeah, whether you're going for an impy, a gold top, a well-brewed lager, sour beer, collaboration galore, chances are Track will just nail it, and they have done with this. And yeah, fundamentally, buy this beer. Buy Sonoma if you've not tried it already. Go buy yourself another can. Remind yourself why you enjoy that beer. Try it on cask if you can. Go to Track's tap room. Fantastic tap room, one of my favourite tap rooms. Plus the pizza there. I don't know if that's changed since I was last there. I think last time I was in Track was when I was flying to Berlin, and I was there the night before because I stayed in a hotel literally in the middle of the crack gardens of Piccadilly. And yeah, just phenomenal stuff. Anyway, I've waffled on way too long. I've got another variant which I think is like a green hop version, which I'm very intrigued to try. I know my good friend Craig, Ken Beer Reviews, is quite partial to a green hop beer. It might not be a green hop, I can't remember, but I will be reviewing that, and I didn't really want to review them together because it'd just be an even bigger mess than this video is. Anyway, I could have condensed this down to less than, I could have done a short saying buy this beer. It's like Sonoma, just with an edge, that's it. But no. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, opinions if you have tried it, and yeah, thank you for watching. You all take care, stay safe, and I shall hopefully see you later. Now I've got to stand here and then awkwardly turn the camera off. Bye.